What's up, Trainee Axe? Welcome to this week's Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, where in this week's edition of Triathlon Newsday, me and Ben Kanute go over Lionel Sanders announcing that he has to pull out of races indefinitely. USAT goes back on one of their very controversial decisions, and a new wetsuit company makes the biggest splash of a long time involving my man BK. Looks sharp. Welcome, triathletes, to this week's Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, where every single week, as long as there is goings-on all around the triathlon world, we share the news from our favorite sport. As always, make sure you stick around to the end, where we share the favorite part of Triathlon Newsday, and that's a story from the Tainiac community. We have a touching one this week. And as always, full links to everything we talk about will be in the description below. Let's start it off with the most unfortunate news of the pro racing community. The beloved Canadian Lionel Sanders has announced that he has had to pull out of races and training indefinitely because of a sacral fracture that he first started feeling on March 19th on a run that he thought was just a little bit of sciatica. After a few weeks, nothing getting better, trying a few different modalities, he finally went to a sports doctor who diagnosed him with this sacral fracture. Now this just goes to show how fine a line these pro triathletes have to dance between high performance and unhealthiness. Jan Frodeno, Ben Hoffman, now Lionel Sanders, all being forced to pull out of months and months worth of training. This is how far they are pushing it, but it's not just pros that are doing this. Us age groupers have to be careful as well. We wish Lionel all the best. Hopefully you come back very soon. You're a great part of this sport, and you are sorely missed while you're away. Following up on last week's story, where Queen's University of Charlotte was originally stripped of their mixed relay title in the Collegiate National Championships held at Tempe, Arizona. Now this was a very controversial thing at the time, because what happened was an athlete wore a long sleeve jersey, and then a competitor athlete ended up reporting the athlete, saying that they were breaking rules, and USAT ended up disqualifying Queens. But if you actually dug into the rules, it wasn't clear that a rule was broken. It wasn't even clear if that rule was broken that they should have disqualified them. USAT has gone back, reinstated that performance by the mixed relay team, and they now have that overall top ranking in the standings and that title back. Deboer Wetsuits has been quietly building a little bit of buzz on Instagram, and just yesterday they finally announced with a huge splash, bad joke, that they have come out of the gates really strong with a lineup featuring Jan Frodeno, Ben Kanute, Matt Russell, and a couple other pro triathletes. The interesting thing about Deboer wetsuits is that they are made with whale skin neoprene, which has ripples on the surface that apparently cause bubbles under your body, giving you a little bit more buoyancy and a little bit more speed. The wetsuits aren't cheap, however. There are two models, one for regular swimming, one for a little bit colder water, and they come in at $1,500. Whew. Big time, cheddar folks, big time. In race news, there's nothing going on in Ironman land, but the Cairns International Triathlon happened, and it had a pro field. Camilla Pederson won the women's race, and our pal Cam Wurf, the instructor from the How to Bike with Cam Wurf, the current two-time defending Kona bike course record holder, instructor from ProTriathlonTraining.com, came out with the men's title, just edging out Tim Don. Slight plug as well for ProTriathlonTraining.com that just until the end of April, you can get 20% off any course or the entire bundle of courses if you use the coupon code PTTLaunch20. ProTriathlonTraining.com. Go learn how to win a Cairns International Triathlon with Cam Wurf. He's a heck of a biker, runs like a donkey though. And the Camtri Sprint Triathlon was held, where Megan Foley won the women's race, and Ben Kanute came out with the men's race. Now, what's really interesting about Ben, and I think how this is going to go in the future of pro triathlon racing, is that Ben has also been winning half Ironman distance races and then stepping back down to dabble in the short distance races. And I think what we're going to see is more and more of these athletes that are trying to straddle the line between short and long course so that they can maintain that speed with short course, slowly bring it up to the longer course, and it's going to make those races just blazing fast and really fun to watch. Congrats, buddy. In the Triathlon Taren podcast, we have actually just edged up a little bit, even in the search results rankings, largely due to excellent guests that we've had on and NTK running with that. She's the talent. I just make sure that I hit record. We did just publish a how to run in triathlon, a little one-on-one, more training than an interview format. And this week, interestingly enough, we have one of the founders of Roka appearing on the show, which is really, really interesting because I met Kurt, one of the founders, way back when they had to share a booth at Kona because they didn't have the budget to rent one themselves, and now they're a behemoth. So, first time I've talked to Kurt since 2013, and I'm interested to hear this story. Now, let's get into the Trainee Story of the week. I'm gonna do my best not to cry during this one. Starts off by saying, "Hi Taren, my name is Terry. I thought the Trainee Axe might enjoy my comeback story. It's been a rough 3 years. It started when I lost my mom to lung cancer in 2013. The day after her funeral at age 49, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. I spent that Thanksgiving, my 50th birthday, Christmas, and New Year's getting chemo and radiation treatment, and at one point was hospitalized for 8 days due to complications. Prior to cancer, I'd done a few sprint and Olympic triathlons, but I thought I was done competing, and I was tearfully arranging for somebody else to raise my 2 teen girls in case I didn't survive, as I was a single mom at the time. Thankfully, I pulled through and eventually married my best friend and training partner in April 2017. I started back slowly, hoping to do 1 sprint in 2017, but ended up completing 2 sprints and 2 Olympics that summer. After getting my 1-year cancer-free checkup in March 2018, my husband Pete and I, Pete, you hear that? Good name for dog and husbands. Signed up for our first 70.3 and a marathon in prep for a someday Ironman. A week later, unfortunately though, I missed a step at the gym and fractured my left foot, requiring surgery to permanently implant 2 plates and 10 screws. I refused to give up, and I got back to training as soon as I was allowed. I missed just 1 month of swimming, 2 months of biking, and 3 months of running. The surgeon and physical therapist said that my healing was remarkable. Many people with Liz Frank fractures never run again, but 5 months after my surgery, I competed my first 70.3 triathlon, and 6 months post-surgery, I completed my first marathon, my hometown Twin Cities Marathon. With 2 major comebacks and those prerequisites complete, there's no stopping me. I'm ready to now tackle my first full Ironman at Wisconsin in September 2019. Jesus, Terry, nothing's gonna keep you down. I really have nothing to say besides that's awesome. I'm so happy for you with how you've fortunately come back, been able to get over your diagnosis of cancer, obviously, and not taking these as long setbacks and taking huge years off, just not allowing yourself to get down and coming back so quickly. Awesome. Like, awesome. You are setting an excellent example for your kids. So be proud. Thank you so much for sharing that story. If anyone else wants to get their story shared here on Triathlon News Day, please send them in. These are amazing to hear. You don't even have to have a husband named after my dog. It's fine. Email it in with some pictures to Taren@triathlontaren.com. And if you aren't already subscribed and you love these Triathlon News Days, Ben Kanute would love if you subscribed. Later, Trainee Axe. So professional, Ben. Why do you leave that tie on all the time? Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, man. I know. As I wear swim trunks